Captain freaking Cold. Hey guys, welcome to my flash review, episode review of the episode called Going Rogue. Sorry for my stuttering. It's a bit of a problem I have. Can't really control it. Oh well. Really great episode. Wentworth Miller owns this role. I've been really looking forward to this episode for a while now, especially given the title, Going Rogue, and the introduction of the Captain Cold character. I was really looking forward to it. One thing I actually wasn't really looking forward to, was Felicity coming onto the show. Because even when Barry came on to Arrow, I didn't like the whole her and Barry have a thing kind of. I never really liked that angle. As much as I like the Barry character, obviously, and as much as I love the Felicity character, I prefer if they don't have a romantic relationship. And obviously seeing the previews for this episode, they're like that kiss and all that. I was like, oh god, please save us from the trouble of this, please. Let him be with Iris. Let him have his own love interest in his own show, and just keep Felicity on Arrow. Okay, she already has Brandon Routh pining for her. Oliver. Just keep. Okay, she needs to stop dating all these superheroes and getting with all these superheroes. Just stick with one. But getting into the positives of the show. Again, Wentworth Miller is really good. I have some minor problems with the character, not necessarily, his acting. But overall, it was a really good performance. I'm really looking forward to what he brings to the table in the coming episodes. I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm a little sick. But Felicity, for the most part, she fits really well into the Flash, and I like that. I like her character fits, and Again, something I'll address in the negatives later on. But I liked how she fit in the show. That's one of my positives. Barry dealing with more than just typical villain of the week stuff. When he got blasted by the cold gun, and he actually could have gotten hurt, seriously hurt, and his bit of when he was angry with Cisco for even creating the gun in the first place, for thinking he wasn't trusting him, blah blah blah. I really like that angle, and I didn't even mind Cisco in this episode, and he's been one of my iffy characters. One of the characters I really haven't liked too much since the show started. Even when he was on Arrow, he seemed a little over the top, and not in the good kind of way, I mean. For us who know the comics, we all know at some point he's supposed to be Vibe, and to me, I still don't see it. I still think he's too young. Nothing like the actor, but the character's acting way too goofy, way too over the top sometimes. And for me, that's just a little problematic because excuse me, I want a character who brings comic relief, but also is serious when he needs to be. And Cisco, I feel like he tries being goofy too much to where when he does become serious, it doesn't have that same excuse me again, have that same value that I would have if it was less goofy and more serious. You know what I mean? But getting in more of the positives again, the action on the show with CGI is really solid for being a CW show. It's really good, and especially the cold gun and Barry speed, all that. In that moment when Barry isn't fast enough to save that one guy and he freezes. That was a really great emotional moment for Barry as a character. Because, that's something they kind of did in the pilot. It was he wasn't fast enough to save someone again, or it was kind of his own fault, blah, blah, blah. But, Barry is, I understand, why he had, he felt the way he did in this episode. But at the same time, it's okay, Joe even said you're not going to be able to save everyone, and that's, one of the big things. Even when you're in that suit, you can't save everyone, and that's one of the hardest things to deal with. And I feel like Barry is still having a hard time dealing with it. It's he has to realize, you can't really save everyone, no matter how hard you try. You're not going to be able to save everyone. You can't save the world. Okay, obviously, superheroes can, but you know what I mean. And then one of my last big positive was the final scene, where where we show Captain Cold talking to Heatwave, giving him his, I think it's a heat gun, whatever it is. With obviously his brother from Prison Break. I'm really looking forward to that and their team up on the show when he starts creating the rogues. I'm really looking forward to that. Time for my negatives. There were times where Captain Cold himself was a little cheesy. Some of the lines I felt like he was very stiff at times or very stern. And I don't blame the actor. I blame how the character was written. Because, again, I love Wentworth Miller, and I'm still looking forward to it. It just, there are moments where I felt like it was a little too much. But, and again, there was minor things with that. I overall love the character. Again, the Felicity and Barry relationship, I still am not a fan of at all. I mean, the way the episode ended, like, okay, like, he kissed her, and then he left. So basically saying, like, okay, like, I'm sorry, well, like, this is, like, all we can have. And I understand that, but at the same time, it just, like, I wish they wouldn't have gone there in the first place. I mean, yes, they have a lot in common. Yes, they even said, like, oh, we're kind of perfect for each other, but, we end up falling for the ones who are our opposites, and the ones who don't, fall for us, whatever. But at the same time, for me, I've never liked their relationship. And because I want Barry to end up with Iris, or at least someone else in his life, because the show writers of Arrow and Flash, they created the Felicity Smoke character because, like, Oliver kind of needed her, and she became such a fan favorite character that they kept her on the show and created, like, eventually she became like a pseudo love interest for Oliver, especially in the first episode of the third season. And I like that if she's just like with Oliver, then, or if there's just like the romantic interest sort of thing with Oliver, I don't mind that because it's just the one guy. But when it's Oliver, now there's Brandon Routh coming in, and now there's Flash. It's like, come on, is she like the superhero slut? Like, okay, and like, I apologize for that using that term, but I'm just saying she's like getting with like all these superheroes, and it's just like, okay. And I would just prefer if she would stick with Oliver, because the showrunners kind of promised us before the season began, this season will be about kind of like Oliver and his relationship, or lack thereof, with Felicity, and how that's going to affect him moving forward, because Felicity this season is going to be pretty much the one woman in Oliver's life. And I was looking forward to that. And in the last few episodes, obviously, she was kind of absent from, well, no, she was like not absent, but she was, with Brandon Routh's character last episode. So there wasn't much interaction between her and Oliver. And then second episode, like, they kind of had a bit of a falling out because of the whole Sarah thing. And she's like, I want so much out of my life than this. And it's like, so you're going to tease this with a relationship in one episode and not continue it in further episodes? Especially with, tonight's episode, I'm recording this on Wednesday. With tonight's episode of Arrow coming out, and Felicity isn't even going to be there because she was on Flash this week. It's like, well, at what point are they going to even have more of a relationship? I mean, like, what's going on, guys? I don't know, that's just me. And then, again, I'm reiterating this because I hate it. Iris and Eddie's effing relationship, I hate it. I hope it ends soon, honestly. There's no chemistry whatsoever between these actors and these characters at all. I don't feel it there. I don't feel any sort of, like, he's very stiff. Like, the actor's very stiff. I'm getting to the point where, like, like, the actor's playing Eddie Thawne, he's trying, but it's not really working for me. If he ends up being, like, the Reverse Flash and make it more interesting, then of course, like, I'll be like, I'll keep an open mind and give the character a chance. But right now, I'm not liking this character, like, almost at all. I don't like the relationship between him and Iris. Like, I'd rather have Iris be single, or at least date someone else who's not Eddie. Like, I understand why they have to date, because Eddie has to constantly one-up Barry in pretty much all aspects. But at the same time, it's like, these characters and these actors don't have any chemistry. It feels very forced to me. I don't like it. I want this relationship to be over already. Even Joe West, like, he's just like, he's like kind of accepting of it. I'm just like, dude, don't let him date your daughter. I mean, yeah, he saved your life. At the same time, it's like, dude, it's not going to end well for anyone. Especially if it does end up being the fact that he's Reverse Flash, that's going to make things even worse. I really hope the writers of the show figure out a way to end that, because that's the one thing I don't look forward to every week, is the Iris and Eddie relationship. Alright, guys, that'd be it for me. Rating out of 10, I'd give this episode an 8. Really solid episode, I liked it a lot. I had some of its issues. Captain Cold, I really, really liked, despite my minor issues with him. Barry is always a great character to watch. Of course, he's the title character, and I hope they stop calling him the Streak soon. It's like, because I mean, kind of, that's another thing. I get tired of calling him the Streak. Just call him the effing Flash already, please. Don't do the whole Arrow thing. Like, oh, season 1 he's the Hood, season 2 he's the Arrow, then season 3 or season 4 he's gonna be the Green Arrow. Like, no, just call him the Flash already, because they're already kind of like formulaic with like how they start out with Arrow. they're kind of doing the same thing with Flash, and I don't want them to necessarily take all those aspects and bring it onto Flash. Well, anyways, guys, that'll be it for me. Going Rogue rating, 8 out of 10. I'll see you guys either tonight or tomorrow for my episode review of Arrow. Alright, guys, have a good one.